Hello everyone and welcome back. This is going to be my November reading wrap up. November there was nothing special. I read a lot of books towards the end. I read 13 books this month. I believe it was 13. 13. So we're going to talk about them, and then some of them may also appear in my Christmas book video that will hopefully be coming to you soon, but no promises. So I started the month off with Madness by Chantal Tessier, and it is the either 5th or 6th books. I think it's the 6th book in the Lord series. It's 6th. And this one follows Hayden and then Charlotte/Annabelle. Pretty sure her real name is Annabelle, but she has to go undercover kind of, so she goes by Charlotte. It's a whole thing. Anyway, this is technically interconnected standalones, but like fully to scope the intensity of this series, you have to read all of them, because I had to make a tree. It was very intense, but I loved it. Pretty much what happens is Hayden is mandated to see a therapist because a whole bunch of shit went down. So he has to see this therapist, and this therapist is Annabelle, or Charlotte. And Charlotte is actually on a mission from the Lords, which is like it's like an organization. You have to read all of the books to understand. But she's on a mission from the Lords to fuck with Hayden in some way. I don't really understand. But then a bunch of lines get crossed. Shit goes wild. It's a very good book. I love this series. And I will continue to read it until she stops making books. Definitely check trigger warnings. It is a dark romance. A very dark romance. All of the things that they do are not okay in real life, but it's fun to read about. It is 800 pages, so yeah, it was so good. I would probably give that 4.5 stars. I don't know if it's my favorite book from the series, but it was a good one, and I was waiting for this book. There's a lot of things that have happened in the other books that was explained in this book. I still need some more explanation on some things, but neither here nor there. Then I read Accidentally Married by Daphne Elliott, and that one follows Cole and Willa, and it's the 3rd book in this series. I don't know what the series is called, but it's the 3rd book, and it follows Cole and Willa. So Willa is a small town doctor. This takes place in a small town, and she's a doctor, and she's just taking over for her dad, and everybody's kind of like doubting her because she's young. And then Cole, who is a former professional hockey player. He wasn't in the NHL, but he was in one of the other little affiliate things. And so they go to this wedding in Vegas for Cole's ex-girlfriend, who is marrying his brother, and Willa's best friend. Some shit goes down, they end up married, and then they have to keep up with the farce. Obviously, that book was beautiful. I did thoroughly enjoy it. Throughout the series, this is the redemption arc that Cole needed. That's all I have to say. I don't really care all that much about Willa, but this is the redemption arc that Cole needed. So I would say it's 4-star. It was good. Then I read Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage, and I have been waiting. I apologize, that was aggressive. I've been waiting for this book, not very patiently either, and I think there's only one more in the series. But this one follows Teddy and Gus, and they have to do, it's pretty much what happens is Gus needs somebody to take care of his daughter, and Teddy needs a job. So yeah, but Gus and Teddy hate each other because of something that happened years ago. And so you find out what that thing is in this book finally, because it's the third book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. And so you find out what happened between them, why they hate each other, whatever. And it's beautiful. This is Gus' redemption arc right here. Gus' redemption arc. Teddy didn't need a redemption arc. I love Teddy. This book was beautiful. So beautiful. And I'm very excited for the last one. I don't know. I need to reread the other two. But it was giving every single thing that it needed to give. And it was also so summery. And it was just... I loved it. I loved it, and I'm so glad it's here. I can't wait until April or whenever the fourth one comes out, and I'll have my little set. I'm so excited. I give that one 5 stars. I fully think that Lila Sage can do no wrong. There is not a bad book that the woman has ever written. She never will write a bad book because she is an icon, a legend, and a queen. Then I read Unsteady by Peyton Corinne, which was a reread. It follows Sadie and Reese, and I've probably talked about this book on here before. I'm pretty sure this is my third read. But Reese and Sadie, Reese is recovering from a bad hit on the ice, and Sadie's a figure skater. So one day she goes into practice early, and Reese is there trying to practice by himself, and he has a panic attack, and she whispers it or witnesses it, and yeah, then they kind of become friends, but kind of not. It's very much so Black Cat, Golden Retriever. It's beautiful. This book is one of my favorites, and I reread it because Unloved, which is the next book in the series, comes out on February 4th. Mark your calendars. And I cannot wait. But Unsteady is just like a comfort book. Probably check trigger warnings. It's very, they talk about some heavy stuff. But I loved it. Like, I love this book. 5 stars for that, obviously. Then I read Cash by Jessica Patterson, and it follows none other than Cash and Molly. And pretty much what happens is Cash works at the ranch that Molly's dad owned, and Molly's dad died, and Cash finds out that the ranch is Molly's and not Cash's. So it was a whole thing, and then Molly has to go. It's big city girl, moves to the country because she has to fulfill the inheritance clause, blah, blah, blah. There was no third act breakup for this, and I thoroughly appreciated that. And I also appreciated the growth that Molly showed, because she did make me want to hit her head into the cement. They did mention Lucchese's in this book, because Cash was wearing Molly's dad's Lucchese's, and that was great because I just like saying the word Lucchese's, and I also want a pair of Lucchese's. So it was beautiful. I don't think that this book was like necessarily mind-blowing to me. I did love the found family that they have on the ranch and like that good shit. But there's the next book in the series is Wyatt, which follows Cash's brother, Wyatt. And I don't know, that one's a friends to lovers one, but I don't know if I'm going to read it because I am not emotionally attached to Wyatt. But another one of Cash's brothers, who will eventually get his own book, is a single dad. So I might have to read it in order to get there. I don't know yet. I'd give it probably 3.5 stars. It was good. Wasn't life-changing, but it was good. Then I got sent an advanced reader's copy of Naughty or Nice by Sophie Snow. I have read both of Sophie Snow's Spicy in Seattle books. It was something legal. I don't know. The other two were really good, though, and I did enjoy them. And so this one follows Aurora and Henry, and it takes place in Colorado, which I really enjoyed because I was just in Colorado. But it follows Aurora and Henry, and Aurora has to go back to her hometown of Whitten, Colorado, or it might be Wyoming, one of the two. Whitten, because to help her friend out with her business. But the thing about Aurora is she hates Christmas, and Witten is a Christmas town, like a full year-round Christmas town. So she fucking hated it. But then enter Henry, who is her friend's uncle, and he's also helping at the Christmas shop because his brother, her friend's dad, who usually plays Santa, broke his foot. So now Henry has to play Santa. It was an interesting book. I enjoyed it. I did. I love Christmas books, and I felt like this book very much so was giving Christmas, and not like department store Christmas, but like hometown Christmas, you know? I loved it. This is an age gap book though, so I think Henry's like 47 or something, and Aurora is like 26, but they made it work, so I loved it. It was like a short little read. I think it's a novella. And I love a good Christmas novella because they're short and easy, but it's so Christmassy, you know? Then I read Braving the Storm by Elliot Rose, which I talked about in my October reading wrap-up. I read, what book did I read? Chasing the Wild. So, Chasing the Wild is the first one. Braving the Storm is the second one, and it follows Storm. He has a full name, but I can't say it. Storm and Briar. And Storm lives up on the mountain, as we know, next to whatever the fuck the other guy's name is. Let's take a gander. He lives on next to... Why the fuck can I not find his name? Colton Wilder. Colt. So, Storm and Colt are neighbors, whatever. Storm comes home one day, and there's just a naked woman in his house. Turns out it's his niece who owns the cabin that he's been living in. It's a whole discombobulated thing. This one is also, well, it's very forbidden romance. So Storm was adopted. And so his adopted brother's daughter is who this is. And him and his adopted brother are in fact estranged, and the niece is over the age of 18. So, I mean, yeah, it's taboo, but it's not illegal. So, but yeah, they have to like navigate having to live together. And then there's a whole bunch of wild shit that happens that I just like didn't super see coming. And it's like, pow, pow, pow. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I would give Naughty and Nice 3 stars because it was a novella, so you can't really give it 5. But I give Braving the Storm probably 4. I really liked this one, and I liked the growth that Storm showed. He was so sweet. And the end, oh god, the end. Anyway, Elliot Rose just released a holiday novella that is set in the Crimson Ridge universe, so we'll likely be reading that. Stay tuned in the December wrap-up. Then I read Dear Santa, Send Me a Cowboy by Remy Rose. This was also an advanced reader's copy that was sent to me, and this one follows Diana and Lawson. And pretty much what happens is every year Diana has somebody from a tree farm in town, usually the owner of a tree farm in town, comes and gives her the Christmas tree that she picks out because she's really bad at driving in the snow, and so the owner doesn't want her out on the roads, whatever. This year, his son comes and drops it off, and his son is a strapping cowboy, obviously. So yeah, things go down. This is also a small novella, so pretty much it is smut with a side plot. And you know what? It's Christmassy. I'm just trying to get into the spirit, okay? That's all I'm trying to do. So I liked it. Diana's also a single mom, so there are things that happen with her kid, and I think that Lawson handles them flawlessly. Yeah, it was good. I would give that one 3 stars too, again, because it's a novella, so I can't give it 5. But then I read The Wingman by Stephanie Archer. It's the 3rd book in the Vancouver Storm series, and this one follows Hayden Owens and Darcy don't know Darcy's last name. But what happens is Darcy and Hayden have been friends for like forever. Like, I think it's 8 years in the book, so they've been friends since like the first day of college. And Darcy ended up dating one of Hayden's friends, and so Darcy and Hayden's friend broke up, and Darcy needed a place to stay. So Hayden's like, you can come and stay with me. And then Darcy decides that she needs like a dating coach, and Hayden's a really big player, so they date. No, they don't date. He teaches her how to date. And then obviously he doesn't like that, so shit hits the fan. Yeah, that's about it. I loved Hayden Owens. I think it's hard to top Rory, which is the guy from the book before this, but he was pretty close. I loved Hayden. I loved everything about him, and the way that he encouraged Darcy to grow was beautiful to me. Yeah, I don't think that this book was very memorable. It was happy, and it made me feel good inside, but it wasn't that memorable. So for that, I give it 3.5 stars. It was a good book, but not life-changing, you know? Then I read King of Country by C.W. Farnsworth, and this one follows Kyle Spencer, yeah, and Piper Egan. And Kyle he's the king of country, so he's a country music star, and Piper works at the label that he's represented by. And so they have met like maybe a couple of times, and every single time Piper's like, I don't want anything to do with him. I don't like the kind of music that he writes, all of this. And Kyle's enamored with her. So Kyle decides that he wants to be done with music, and Piper is sent to Texas to get him to reconsider. During Piper's time in Texas, shit gets real. Shit gets very real very quickly. And then some things change, and then some other people decide that there was a slight, maybe more than slight, miscommunication trope in this book, and I really had a hard time with that because we blew things. We blew some things way out of proportion that did not need to be blown out of proportion. And I was like, you're all adults. But, whatever. Jesus. It was a good book. I did enjoy it. I love a good book. It was 3.5 stars. Actually, 3 stars. Again, not very memorable, but a good book. So yeah. And then the last 3 books I read were all holiday novellas. So I read My Greatest Joy by Brooke Fox, and that one follows Fallon and Levi. And then I read No Harm, No Foul by Hannah Cohen, and that one follows Nico and Ivy. And then I read Gifted to His Dad by Jay Wilder, and that one follows Eve, Cole, and Griffin. So in My Greatest Joy, pretty much what happens is Fallon's a journalist, and she has to go and report on this town, and her booking for where she's supposed to be staying in like an Airbnb, she got scammed, and so she ends up in Levi's house, and Levi's like, okay, well, you can stay here, and then they fall in love. Obviously, I didn't like this book. I'd give it 2 stars. It was just like, meh. I also thought, like, I went into it thinking that it was going to be something different than what it was. So I guess there's that. But it was meh at best. So I give it 2 stars. And then I read No Harm, No Foul, which follows Ivy and Nico. And that one is Ivy moves to this new town after her and her boyfriend break up. And she's in charge of putting together this Christmas festival. And she has to work with the bar owner to do it. Turns out that the bar owner is her ex-boyfriend's dad, who has the hots for her. So this book was genuinely just smut. Just an FYI. Very good though. Did enjoy it. 3 stars. And then Gifted to His Dad, also literally just smut. And this book, it's his stepdad. And they were 19 when they met. So whatever. Anyway, so Eve and Cole are dating, and then they go on this holiday retreat with Cole's family, so his stepdad, and then they all sleep together, and then they all live happily ever after. And I would give that book 3 stars as well. All in all, it was, I mean, there were some good books, but I also read a lot of short books, so I can't really say all that much. Thus far, December is looking promising, though, so excited for that. And yeah, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed me talking about it, and stay tuned for my Christmas Rex video, because hopefully that will be coming soon. Okay, toodles!